Everyone is always looking to scratch that new game itch, but everybody is afraid to commit to a new game. Well, I have a new game for you. If you like management, simulation, and strategy games, as well as the fantasy genre as a whole, I got you covered on your next obsession. And as payment, you can go wishlist the game and subscribe to the channel. It's really the least you could do. Hey everybody, I wanted to take some time to do an update on our game Winterreach Emporium. If you are not a follower of the channel, or you're a new follower of the channel and you just don't know what Winterreach Emporium is, it's our game that we developed in-house, and we're developing it on Unreal Engine, and you run your own fantasy ski shop on the frozen peaks of Winterreach. So the kind of gameplay loops here are you are kind of stocking your gear, you serve a bunch of different fantasy races, and you have to balance their reputations and how happy they are with your shop. You'll also hire and manage staff. There's a whole research upgrade system. There's festivals, shortages, winter weather conditions. They all do tons of different things, and we're packing it full of all of the different mechanics that we love as fans of the genre, and we're trying to add that fantasy flavor. And with that being said, I want to jump in and do a bit of a deeper dive on some of the core mechanics of the game that I find to be the most interesting, and we're going to jump right in. Also, huge disclaimer, what you're seeing in the background is like pre-alpha, so work in progress. Tons of the UI is not going to be used that you see, or it's just not plugged up entirely. So don't judge this gameplay too harshly. All right, and the first thing that I want to talk about is something that I spent a lot of time on Friday doing, is the racial reputation system. So kind of just a broad explanation is the racial reputation system is that every single race will have an opinion of your store, and depending on that opinion, there will be different modifiers, which I will outline now. You'll notice here that I'm tweaking the race modifier, and I will throw up an overlay on the screen of what the little race modifier looks like in the UI. But essentially what this is every single different race will have a different reputation of your store. So they will like your store, hate your store, be indifferent towards your store, and that's going to affect a lot of different gameplay elements. For starters, it's going to affect their spawn rates. So if you make a store that's all about having goblins or Gorvash or humans, you obviously will get more of those races showing up to your store. It's also going to affect the different events that might pop up. If you have a goblin store, you are going to get bigger bonuses for, say, the Goblin Festival. And lastly, it's going to affect what you are able to unlock. Basically, the gates for unlocking different items is going to be your reputation with those races. So you can't unlock the, Barca Parka or whatever it might be, the Kashtari jacket, if you're, say, the High Ridge Elves don't like you at all, because that is an item that is gate-kept by the High Ridge Elves. So the different racial mechanics kind of are a huge part of the gameplay loop, and kind of the goal is to boost replayability, and this is one of our big flavor elements. Here, you'll see I'm going through and naming all of the different races. I have the Patreon in the description. If you want to support the development of the game, feel free to jump in, subscribe to the lowest level of the Patreon, and we will throw your name in the game, or whatever fantasy race you've chosen, as long as it's appropriate. Also, just as equal, you can become a member of the channel as well. I'm not really sure how I would track the name that you want. Again, if you want to support the game and the channel and the studio, you can just become a member of the channel. And on that note, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I probably should have said it earlier in the comments. I am kind of considering doing a Ask Me Anything, so if you dump me some questions in the comments, I can make a separate video where I answer your questions, whether they be questions about the game, questions about development, questions about YouTube, or questions about the studio just in general, or even fantasy fun questions, who knows. And the big thing that I actually really wanted to highlight in this video is kind of our lore, our characters, our races, our items. So what are our races? So basically off the top, we have the humans, definitely the most generic race that you can think of, and they're pretty standard humans that you would expect in a fantasy game. Nothing really too out of the ordinary. There's some more background lore stuff going on with them, but that's not really something that you need to worry about in this game. So we can kind of glaze past the humans because they are pretty standard. Up next, we have the Gorvash, and the Gorvash are kind of our orc-adjacent kind of wolfmen. The idea is that they're kind of a hybrid between wolfmen and like big boar men, but this is the Gorvash. They are rough. They bully the goblins. They don't like the goblins. There is a There is a lot of gameplay mechanics where if the Gorvash likes something the goblins won't, and vice versa. So this is the Gorvash. Up next we have everybody's favorite, the Gutterling. The Gutterling are little salamander kind of lizard people. They are cute, they are funny, they will freeze in the winter, so make sure you get them nice, warm, and bundled up, and for whatever reason, they always decide not to wear enough clothes. Probably is why they freeze in the winter. This is our Gutterling. Up next we have the Goblins, which are just mischievous little goblins. They do not like the Gorvash, as I previously said. They're kind of the nerds of the mountain, but there is some serious benefits to siding with the goblins, as players will figure out throughout the game. They have a goblin festival, and there's just a lot of cool little things to kind of see with the goblins. And lastly, we have our High Ridge Elves. These are kind of our posh high elves. All of their gear is exquisite, and they generally kind of have a superiority complex, so it is going to be hard to package the High Ridge Elves with any of the other races. This is our High Ridge Elf. Alright, so this video is a lot of talking, and it's almost adjacent to a devlog as much as it is a informational get the word out. This is our game kind of video. Some things that I definitely do want to note from what you've seen. There is tons of models for all of the different races, all of the different items. You can really do a lot in this game. Some features that I'm not going to touch on too much in this video is the weather system, because it is in development, so there will be a dynamic weather system that will affect the outcome of how many people are able to show up to the store. There are planned events, which are kind of something like festivals or things like that will be on your calendar. And then there will also be dynamic events that will pop up throughout the day that you'll have to respond to. And I will say we are planning on having a new demo out in the next couple weeks where you will actually be able to play some of these new features and kind of get a good idea of what the little gameplay loop is like. We are still currently doing some game development things, such as maybe looking for a publisher. But aside from that, expect the game to come out within probably the next 2 months. But this month, like I said, expect a gameplay demo. All right, and that's all we have right now that we want to share. Please, 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 in the description, go click on the link, wishlist the game. It's the most important thing, and it is the best thing you can do for the channel. Second best is hitting that subscribe button, and even maybe there's like a little bell icon. I don't know, I've heard it in videos. I actually don't even know. But hit that little bell icon, subscribe, get the alerts, like the video, comment. Tell me, like I said, do you have any questions about the game development, the channel as a whole? I'm willing to answer them. Also, if you're like, hey, I'm just following this channel for the video essays, have no fear. On Thursday will be the next one, and Tuesday we'll have a tier list. So, you know, thanks for watching through this video if you weren't interested, but hey, you have that to look forward to. And with all of that being said, please have a great day, and I do appreciate if you've watched this far in the video. Bye!